Q&I team exclusive tonight at 10. Disaster strikes twice for a group of Overland Park homeowners. First, their townhomes caught fire. And now, more than a year later, they still have not been able to return home. 41 Action News investigator Kat Reed tracked down the man responsible for the job and learned our investigation isn't the only one he's facing.
There are some sights, some sentences a homeowner dreads.
I just remember getting out of the car and the first words somebody came up to me and said, these 4 words, and there's been a fire.
It was March 2nd, 2019, when fire and smoke filled 7 of the Greenbrier townhomes at 83rd and Antioch.
We thought, well, what's going on? What's going on?
Everything on our second floors was covered with water and soot and whatnot, so that was all wiped out.
Going home wasn't an option for the tight-knit group of homeowners.
We call ourselves the Antioch 7.
The Antioch 7 jumped into action, getting bids for the work, and Superior Restoration and Construction came highly recommended. The company had done some other work in the neighborhood, and the homeowners were impressed by owner Corey Polson. They met him just days after the fire.
We were in shock. I mean, had Santa Claus walked in here and said, I will save you all, we'd have said, where do I sign?
Work began soon after they signed contracts in March 2019. The homeowners felt they made the right choice, but that quickly changed, just like their estimated move-in date.
We'd meet with them and they'd say, well, we're scheduled to do this next week, or we're going to do this in a couple of weeks. They should be in there to finish this.
More than a year after the fire,
The background of the bookcases was a really neat burgundy color. It was just, oh, I love this room.
the job is far from done.
This place I lived in 35 years is a foreign territory right now. You know, I walk in and I'm not at home.
We're still living in a hotel suite.
The homeowners say the majority of their insurance money went to Corey Polson and Superior Restoration up front.
Probably $750,000, close to $1 million if you add each insurance payment that went to him. There's 7 homes involved here. How much of it went into the homes, how much of it didn't, I don't know.
And they can't ask Polson.
We've tried to call him, we've tried to text him, and you get absolutely no answer.
The homeowners aren't alone.
Finally, he just quit answering my text messages.
Insco Environmental did his best abatement at the Greenbrier townhomes. They finished up what they say was a $90,000 job last June.
He owes me a little over $32,000.
Another contractor, Wallboard Specialties, placed a lien against Martini's townhome for $5,000 because they haven't been paid. We tracked Polson down at his home to get some answers. I'm hoping to talk to you about the work at the Greenbrier townhomes.
I'm just getting ready to leave.
We agreed to meet the following week, but wanted answers that day. We talked to these homeowners and they're worried about where their money's gone. And they just are hoping to know if you have their money.
No, and I'll reach out to all of them as well. So I had a project manager that was handling all that stuff. So.
Got it. Okay, yeah, because they were supposed to be in their homes like no later than December, and they're still not back in their townhomes.
Yeah, it was reoriginal. There was some variations of the schedule, but yeah. But I'd love to chat more about it on the 12th.
When the 12th came, Polson canceled, so we rescheduled. He canceled again, saying he was delayed at appointments and couldn't meet up with us at his office, a location we learned his business is being evicted from. Court documents we obtained show Polson and his company owe the landlord $35,000. As for the status of the townhomes,
I've got an estimate of $60,000 to finish it right now.
One of my bids was in the 80s, low 80s. One was 70.
A steep price for a group of homeowners on fixed incomes.
We plan our finances, and we didn't plan for this.
What are you planning to do?
Well, I'm going to have a bake sale. I'm going to have to work with whatever I could do, maybe borrow some money.
The Antioch 7 also took their case to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office, which opened an investigation.
I can't believe somebody can just take our money and walk off and not pay for it in some way.
I am angry. I want justice.
And they just want to go home. I'm consumer investigator Kat Reed, 41 Action News.
This is where the dishwasher was.
Sandra Saling's kitchen is the site of a major renovation, all thanks to what used to be here, her dishwasher.
It ended up leaking due to a manufacturer defect that was determined by one of their techs that came out and looked at it.
Neither Saling nor her fiance was home at the time, so the damage was extensive. The water covered the kitchen floor.
It had seeped down into the basement, which is our rec room.
It also damaged the downstairs bathroom. Soon after, the couple started looking for someone to do the repairs.
My fiance and I are really big on reviews.
They liked what they read about Superior Restoration and signed a contract in October 2019. The couple had to put down half the money up front, about $6,500. But 9 months later, the job isn't done, and Sailing can't get in touch with the company. Her calls and more than 20 texts unanswered.
Maybe 60% of the job has been done. We've actually done a lot of the work ourselves.
If the company name and the story sound familiar, that's because we've told you about them before. Superior Restoration was hired in 2019 to repair these townhomes after they were damaged in a fire. The homeowners tell us they paid the majority of the money up front.
And about the end of the year was pretty much when they stopped doing hardly anything over there.
When the homeowners couldn't get in touch with Superior, we tracked down owner Corey Poulsen at his home. We talked to these homeowners and they're worried about where their money's gone. And they just are hoping to know if you have their money.
No, and I'll reach out to all of them as well. So I had a project manager that was handling all that stuff.
Poulsen promised to sit down with the homeowners, then canceled that meeting at the last minute. The Johnson County District Attorney's Office confirms an investigation into that case is ongoing.
It was definitely heartbreaking just because I was hoping that there wasn't anybody out there that they were doing this to.
Poulsen hasn't responded to Sailing's messages, nor has he gotten back to us. Sailing's kitchen is still in disarray. The furniture removed from the house sits inside this storage pod, which Superior Restoration had ordered.
I actually just found out a couple weeks ago that they paid 1 month and they haven't made a payment since. And the company is wanting to come get their pod, but our stuff isn't there.
Sailing says her insurance company doesn't want to cut another check, so she and her fiance will have to come up with the money out of pocket to finish the job. Do you guys have that amount of money to put up front right now?
Oh, absolutely not, especially because due to the COVID-19, I lost my job.
It's just the latest setback in a restoration nightmare she wishes would end. I'm consumer I-Team reporter Kat Reed, 41 Action News.